Hello everybody, what is up? Darkside Phil here, and welcome to a huge schedule update for 2014. Today is actually April 18th, Good Friday, that I'm filming this. And I've not done one of these since January, realizing this yesterday. And I said, man, not only do I really need to update my schedule, but I need to inform everyone not only of the games that I'm playing, but other upcoming events, including, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm moving. I am leaving Connecticut. This wall calendar will no longer be on this wall. We're going to find a new place for it in my new place. And, yeah, so this will be not a thing of the past, but it will be transitioned over to the new home, okay? Want to give a preemptive warning. I have a back injury. For those of you who aren't familiar, and I will wobble back and forth. A lot of people say, oh no, it's like he's on a boat. Listen, I can't stand still. I can't. My back hurts. And if I used a tripod for this, it would never work because I'd have to pan and zoom everywhere and it would be a pain in the ass, okay? So, what I want you guys to know is what I'm going to be doing for the next several months, because there is a lot of new stuff coming out. Finally, in the next several months, we've got dates. And we had nothing earlier this year. I want to inform you of everything I'm doing. If anything in here you see I'm missing for the next several months, please let me know. But keep in mind, I only list things with solid release dates. Okay? So let's go through it. First of all, in April, today is Good Friday. And I am starting today Oblivion. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and this is going to be an ongoing thing that I work on every Friday. I'll be doing it as a stream every Friday in the foreseeable future, okay? Now, if I end up getting major downtime during the course of the year, and there's nothing else going on and people are really liking Oblivion, I may do that as a filler stream as well, other days other than Friday, but it's starting out as a Friday-only project, okay? Starting tomorrow, we've got Lego Hobbit Co-op with John Rambo. Knowing how long the Lego games are, more than likely it's going to end up being 2 different weekends, okay? This was just announced. Octodad Deadliest Catch is finally coming out on PlayStation 4 next week. So that's going to be Tuesday. I'm going to be checking that out. Now keep in mind, this week I've already announced I'm probably going to be playing Spider-Man Web of Shadows. For the first time since 2008, I'm going to be doing an Evil Karma playthrough, which I did not do in my footage from 2008. And I am going to be doing a full playthrough, which is not what I did in 2008. I only did highlights, okay? Alright, and of course I'll also be continuing on Final Fantasy X during that week as well. The final week of April is packed. You've got Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is the tie-in with the movie. I actually loved Amazing Spider-Man 1. We got 2 games coming out this week that are out. One of them is called Daylight, and I believe it's a PC-only game, and it looks like it's one of those survival horror games. In fact, it looks incredibly similar to Outlast. I don't know if it is, but it looks, the premise of it looks, you're in a hospital, your only source of light is your cell phone. So instead of the camera, the camcorder from Outlast, it's a cell phone, right? I want to check that out. At the same time, there's an RPG coming out called Child of Light, and I have no idea if it's going to be any good or not. I would like to get people's feedback. Do you want to see me play that game or not that week, okay? Because I'm already going to have Spider-Man. I might be checking out Daylight, and I'll be busy with my other ongoing stuff like Final Fantasy, okay? So now we scoot on over here to May. First week of May, May 6th, we've got MLB 2K14 The Show. Now, this is already out for most consoles, but it's not out for next gen. It comes out for PlayStation 4 that day. And being that my NBA 2K14 playthrough did so well and people loved it so much, you know, after basically doing it by surprise last year, I've actually gotten dozens of requests to play MLB because I've never played a baseball game before. So I may do that. I may do the campaign, career mode, whatever of that game, and we'll see how that works. In addition, that week also, Outlast has a DLC called the Whistleblower DLC. I loved Outlast on the PC, and I can't wait to check out that DLC. I'm definitely checking it out that week. In addition, later on that week, there's a game called Bound by Flame, and it's weird because it's being sold at a discounted price. I believe it's only 40 or 50 bucks. And It looks like it's some kind of an action-oriented RPG. I may play it if people want to see me play it, I may. If not, maybe I'll stick to other downtime stuff. I'm not sure. The week after that is going to be the final time that my girlfriend Leanna visits me in Connecticut and we have a normal trip. After 2.5 years of seeing each other only once a month, this will be the last Connecticut trip before we end up moving the next month, but we'll get to that, okay? When she leaves, that next week we got 2 games, Wolfenstein The New Order and Transistor. Both that week. Transistor is a downloadable title that looks to be like almost a side-scrolling beat-em-up. It looks pretty good with the previews that I saw, so I may check that out. The week after that is huge. Watch Dogs. I mean, how long have we all been waiting for Watch Dogs? And from everything we're seeing, it looks to be an incredibly long game. It looks like there's a ton of content, and it looks like it may be really good, or it could maybe not live up to expectations. I don't know. Okay. Later that week, we've got Mario Kart 8. And what I may do is on launch day of Mario Kart 8, play it and experience it single player, or maybe even play it online. And then for that weekend, do co-op with John Rambo, because the game does have local co-op. Maybe we can see how far we can get trying to beat it together. Okay? There will be co-op throughout the month of May with John Rambo, besides this weekend when Leanna is there. We're not sure what it's going to be yet. A lot of people have asked me, am I playing Trials? There's a Trials game that came out this week, and I knew nothing about it. People didn't ask me if I was playing it until it was already out. I never played a Trials game. I know nothing really about it, but people say that it has co-op. Maybe that's something that John and I could do for co-op one of these days. I'm not sure, okay? The first week of June, Murdered Soul Suspect is coming out, a murder mystery game that looks pretty good, and I'm interested in it. That's going to be the first week of June, okay? Second week of June is E3, and so just like I did last year, I will be covering E3 on a daily basis, going through all the press conferences and such that went on, my opinions on them, and not only informing you on everything that happened, but giving you obviously my take on it. Last year was a unique case because it was the announcement of the next-gen consoles. This year is also a unique case because it's going to be the games for the next-gen consoles that they need to announce, because there's no fucking games for these consoles, okay? Also that week, I wrote it on the 11th, but it really comes out on the 10th, Enemy Front. It seems to be some kind of a war-based, I don't even know if it's a first-person shooter, but it's a stealth-based game where you're trying to sneak through enemy lines and survive. Alright, now this is the big one. I'm closing on my home on the 22nd. My home in Washington, okay? Let me actually write this down. Closing. If you want information, if you weren't in the know about this, if you haven't seen anything about it, I made one video that was a summary when I got back from Seattle, my house hunting venture in Seattle in April. I made a big hour-and-a-half video explaining the whole trip. And then this week, there was one pre-stream video where there's a huge announcement, me explaining that I got the place. Those are the 2 videos you're going to watch to get the skinny on this, but I'm closing on it on the 22nd. But as you can see with all the games coming out, I'm not going to be free to move until probably this week. Now, I'm obviously aware that UFC comes out that week, and a lot of people have asked me to check out UFC because it's going to be coming out on PS4 next gen. But I'm not going to be able to play it that week because more than likely that's the week I'm going to be moving from Connecticut to Seattle. Okay? So if that is the case, and I'm moving from Connecticut to Seattle, you won't see any new gameplay footage that week, but you'll see travel vlogs as soon as I get the internet set up at my new place. Okay, and I'm saying moving to Seattle. I'm not technically moving to Seattle. I'm moving to the outskirts of Seattle. There you go. So UFC, even though it comes out that week, maybe once I'm moved in, that's the first thing I do. And then Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark comes out that next week, okay? Now, one thing that I haven't mentioned at all is that since I am definitively going to be moving, in June if everything goes correctly, people have been saying, Phil, well, you've been in Connecticut all your life. Over the course of 2008 to now, you've done so many videos with so many people, including Howard, John Rambo, OJ, all the Street Fighter guys you used to hang out with, like Mayor McJustin, Drew. What are you going to do? And I'm thinking that there may be a great idea that one of these weekends, one of these weekends in June, before I move, I do a huge kind of farewell to Connecticut party where I invite everyone over. We all just kind of shoot the shit, hang out, have food, have drinks, play games, And it could be, you know, a ton of different games. It could be games that we've played over the years that we really enjoyed, kind of a reminiscing kind of thing. Street Fighter, that's the other thing. Ultra Street Fighter 4 is supposed to come out in June, but Capcom, because they're so fucking falling apart right now, don't have a solid release date for it yet. If it comes out in the first 2 weeks, that's perfect. I got people over to play that game. People would love to play that game, but they never fucking announced it. So I can't give a date to when it's coming out because they didn't do it. Okay? If they do, that's perfect. If not, maybe I'll have people over and we'll play other stuff. But I think it's worth it to maybe do something special like that. In addition to that, some people have asked specifically that myself, Rambo, and Howard just kind of sit down and do some special, like a stream slash vlog where we kind of shoot the shit and reminisce about the, you know, the time that we've spent in Connecticut together and all the projects and stuff that we've made possible by helping each other out and stuff. And maybe even reminiscing on the funniest moments or our favorite moments of stuff that we've done together. And maybe even have callers calling in and asking us questions. All right, that's a possibility. So all that's possible in June. July, now the rest of the year, I want to warn everyone, the rest of the year is incredibly tentative, meaning most of this is probably wrong. There probably are things that are going to be happening, but they just don't have release dates yet, and I'm not going to put them on the calendar until they have a release date. So for example, you know there's a Call of Duty game coming out, you know there's an Assassin's Creed game coming out. Every year they have one, but they don't have dates, so they're not on the calendar yet, okay? But we do have dates for Sniper Elite 3. If you remember a couple years ago, I played Sniper Elite 2, and some of the funniest moments of the year came from me doing ball shots and epic, you know, sniper shots in that game. I fully expect Sniper Elite 3 is going to be more of the same. Sometime in July, Tales of Exilia 2 is supposed to come out. I don't know when, but it's supposed to come out in July. If it does, I'm definitely checking it out. I liked Tales of Exilia 1 last year. August, again, there's really nothing listed until the end of the month. You got Madden. And again, being that I may play MLB, being that I had such success with NBA 2K14, maybe I'll check out Madden on the next gen. And then the end of the month makes no sense. Supposedly, and I think that these may be more placeholders than anything else, Evil Within and Dying Light, both games are survival horror games, are coming out supposedly on the same day. I don't believe that. I think that it may be, you know, like I said, a placeholder. But I'm going to be checking those games out. And there's this game called Sacred 3. Sacred 1 I actually played. It was a strategy-based RPG where you basically have a god who has godlike powers and starts to build a world, build a civilization around it, and either protect or destroy the civilization based on what it needs. And the civilization, it's kind of like a simulation game almost. The civilization will worship you, give you offerings and stuff. Now, they haven't made a Sacred game in 100 years. I'm surprised this is coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't true and it's going to be delayed, but I thought it was an interesting premise that the game's coming back, okay? In September, we've got Destiny on September 9th, and we've got nothing else for that month. Literally nothing. Nothing happening that month. Of course, it is the hardcore gaming season starting in September, and I fully expect that this will start to populate as we get closer to it. And especially after E3, you'll probably see a ton of games populate that. In October 7th, so far we've got Alien Isolation and Middle-earth: The Shadow of Mordor. And the week after that, we got Batman Arkham Knight. Nothing for November yet, although you know a ton of games are coming out, and nothing for December yet, although you know a ton of games will be coming out. So that is the schedule update for April 2014. This is for the foreseeable future. I fully expect this will be updated again, probably come around E3 June time when all those release dates will get released. But for now, this is a good way to explain what's going on for the rest of April, May, and June, especially with the moves and the trips coming up. And I hope that you will look forward to watching gameplay with me, whether on stream or on YouTube, okay? So thanks everyone. I'm going to make this the featured video on my vlogging channel for the foreseeable future so that everyone is in the know on what's going on. I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys on stream or on YouTube soon. Peace out, everybody.